Okay, so Barbara Glantz is a customer service professional. A few years ago, I was hired by a large supermarket chain to lead a customer service program to build customer loyalty. During my speech, I said, every one of you can make a difference and create memories for your customers that will motivate them to come back. Put your personal signature on the job. Think about something you can do for your customer to make them feel special, a memory that will make them come back. About a month after I had spoken, I received a call from a 19-year-old bagger named Johnny. He proudly informed me that he was a Down syndrome individual and told me his story. I like what you talked about, he said, but at first I didn't think I could do anything special for our customers. After all, I'm just a bagger. Then I had an idea, Johnny said. Every night after work, I'd come home and find a thought for the day. If I can't find a saying saying I like, he added, I just think one up. When Johnny had a good thought for the day, his dad helped him set it up on the computer and print multiple copies. Johnny cut out each quote and signed his name on the back. Then he'd bring them to work the next day. When I finished bagging someone's groceries, I put my thought for the day in their bag and say, thanks for shopping with us. It touched me to think that this young man, with a job most people would say is not important, had made it important by creating precious memories for all of his customers. A month later, the store manager called me. You won't believe what happened. When I was making my rounds today, I found Johnny's checkout line was 3 times longer than anyone else's. It went all the way back down the frozen food aisle. So I quickly announced, we need more cashiers, get more lanes open, as I tried to get people to change lanes. No one would move. They said, no, that's okay. We want to be in Johnny's line. Go back here. No, it's okay. We want to be in Johnny's lane. We want his thought for the day. The store manager continued. It was a joy to watch Johnny delight the customers. I got a lump in my throat when one woman said, I used to shop at your store once a week, but now I come in every time I go by because I want to get Johnny's thought for the day. A few months later, the manager called me again. Johnny has transformed our store. Now when the floral department has a broken flower or unused corsage, they find an elderly lady, an elderly woman, or a little girl and pin it on them. Everyone's having a lot of fun creating memories. Our customers are talking about us. They're coming back and bringing their friends. A wonderful spirit of service spread throughout the entire store, and all because Johnny chose to make a difference. Johnny's idea wasn't nearly as innovative as it was loving. It came from his heart. It was real. That's what touched his customers, his peers, and those who read the story. Great service comes from the heart. Will you be a Johnny today? Okay, was he 5,000% more effective than the other people in the store? Yeah, he was. Johnny persuaded me that Covey was right. That Johnny was 5,000% more effective than the other people in the store. He changed the store, even though he was by far the least qualified to do it. He changed the operation, he changed the future of that store. So I'd say that is also an example of me in the sense that it's more trustworthiness than it is competence. Competence is literally less important than trustworthiness. Of just doing it. Just doing it makes a world of difference. Now, if you're competent, if he were, oops, not getting up on, if he were competent, more competent, he'd become the manager, right? So he may not be competent enough to become the manager, but he was competent enough when added to his trustworthiness and his passion to change the future of that store. Well, let's go back and watch this last video that I was wanted to watch. This is, oops, wrong one. So this is Jack Canfield, and apparently a very short one here. So the only one you have to worry about later is this 100-minute one that we already watched part of.
Getting over
ways, proactivity would have to be seen as the most important, and it's certainly why he put it number one. Because if you're not proactive, the rest isn't going to fall into place. You have to accept that you're responsible for your lives. And then you can start employing the other habits that he will teach us over the coming weeks, and the other people will teach us once you accept that fact. And again, that doesn't mean that the world's always going to be fair. Not going to be. And you might as well accept that. If you don't understand that, then you're in a world of trouble. The world is not always going to be fair to you. You can be some of the best people in the world have ended up in prison. Solzhenitsyn, Gandhi, let's go down the list. Great people. Did they do something wrong to end up in prison or concentration camp? Not that I can see, and not that anybody else seems to be able to see, without giving up their principles. That's what they weren't willing to do. And so, as I said before, your proactivity will help you climb the ladder. Expect to get kicked down once in a while. That will come with the territory. You can guarantee it. Somebody will be jealous. Somebody will be angry because you stood up for somebody that they wanted to destroy or whatever it might be. Somebody's going to come after you. I absolutely guarantee it. But that doesn't mean, and so you just have to keep at it. If you're pursuing your passion, if you're pursuing your long-term goal, whatever it is, and you're convinced that's where you need to be going, you just need to keep going. Keep progressing, learn from your mistakes, learn from, even if they're not your mistakes. As I said, you learn from other people's actions, even if it's not your fault. You still learn from it. Some of our most important lessons in life are not our fault. I doubt that I wish I had it. I'd like to share one of my favorite poems with you, but I don't think I can find it here. I know it took me a long time to find it a couple of weeks ago when I was looking for it. The essence of it, and I'm certainly not going to put any rhyme to it because I don't remember it that well, but it's about agony, about pain and agony that you might suffer in life. And you will. Some of it will be your fault. Some will be somebody else's fault. But you're all going to have pain and agony in your life. Congratulations. This is not necessarily the news you want to hear from me, but you will. But what this poem says, in essence, is basically it's from the first person perspective. It says pain had been with me so long. I told him to go away. Again, don't have the rhyme to it. And then, with a strange look on his face, he turned to me and said, "Me? You want me to go away? Me, who have taught you everything about sympathy and understanding and gratitude? You want me to go away?" And anyway, the essence of it is that the poem makes him understand that indeed, some of the most painful events in life are the things that give us, that make us better people, make us feel more deeply. If we don't suffer a little bit, we can't sympathize with somebody else that suffers. We are very shallow people. And so some of the people that you think are most successful suffer from this, by the way. They have no empathy at all. They have no empathy, no sympathy. They just push people out of the way. And ultimately, I think that's a bigger problem than facing pain and agony in life. Because as we face it, as I get older and I'm approaching my latter years of life, I appreciate the hardships that I've had to go through. I appreciate the long hours I had to work on the family farm under the hot sun, and I worked probably from the time I was 6 or 7 years old. I worked longer than most American men do. Maybe not somewhere like Malaysia, but where I was working from dawn till dusk and throughout the summers and stuff. I appreciate now the work ethic my dad taught me out on the farm. I appreciate even the things that I mentioned, getting fired by somebody who would later on become the chancellor of all the universities in New York. Not really fired, but not renewed. Wasn't really fired, but same essence. Because it also taught me to have faith and confidence that I can go to another job and I'll be okay. And whether that was partly, again, a blessing from God or just a blessing from my trustworthiness and competence, I don't know. But before my contract ran out, I had another job. I also got fired from a job after I ran for city council. I won the position of city council. And I was working at the time in PR marketing for an engineering firm. And the engineering firm had a client who didn't like the way I was voting on city council. And so the boss finally came to me and said, "Look, Ken, you either have to quit city council or you have to quit this job because this very influential client of ours doesn't like you. He doesn't like what you're doing in city council. You're voting in a way that hurts his company." And I felt I'd only been on council at that point about 6 months, and I felt that I would be betraying the trust of the people to walk away from city council. So I let him fire me. I did not resign, but ultimately he had to fire me. And he then went ahead and lied to his bosses about the whole circumstances because he had actually given me permission to run for city council. And he lied to his bosses and said that wasn't true. So it was another painful event. But very quickly I had another job and was on my way, and so it was no big deal. But more importantly, I don't care. I did what I thought was right, and I grew from that, and I grew in faith that things would be okay if I made the right decisions. Things would turn out okay. So whether it was that or moving overseas to Kazakhstan to continue a career or whatever the different decisions I had to make in life, some were very difficult. But I still believe, and I believe more than ever, not still believe, I believe more than ever, that we all have a destiny to achieve, that we can do great things. Or maybe not, we may not be written up in the books like Gandhi, but we can impact people's lives in ways that will ripple through the eternity, literally, I believe, ripple through the eternity. You affect one person. If I help one student to accomplish more in their life, that has a ripple effect. That student affects somebody else. That student achieves more in his career. That student, maybe if I affect him in a class like this, may have a better family life. raise kids, they'll be more caring and competent, and they will go on and do good things, and on and on. So if in a class like this I can affect people, that could have literally an infinite rippling effect in my belief system. And so I think it's worth it. And I don't look back in any regrets, because I'm here now. And I like being here right now. And I like teaching you this class. And I hope that you will get something out of it, and that your lives will be better, and that someday, somewhere in the great beyond, we'll look back and say, and compare notes and say, you know, how did things happen from that moment that maybe I affected your life later on? It'd be nice to know. It's nice to, on Facebook, I have a lot of students who still contact me regularly and ask for some assistance with this, some advice on that, letter of recommendation. And I continue to be very involved with students that I've even had 10 years ago that you know, I've not been in my class for a long time, because I want to matter. I want to matter in my life. And I think we all want to matter. We should want to matter. And it's not necessarily becoming millionaires. It's not. We should want to matter. That when we leave this life, we made a difference someplace. That to me is the most important thing. And so, anyway, thank you for being in the class, and please keep up with your homework, and we'll see you next week.